says he's coming. Yes, he's coming.
Good morning. My name is Alex Irvin, and my pronouns are he, him. I'm a member of your UUI Board of Trustees. If you're here for the first time, thank you for joining us. We look forward to getting to know you. We invite everyone present in the sanctuary today to join our in-person coffee hour immediately following the service. During our service, there is a time for sharing the joys and sorrows of our lives with one another. Cards for sharing your joys or sorrow are on the table by the entrance to the sanctuary. We ask that you pick them up and fill them out prior to that section of the service. Exuberance and life and learning is one of our core values, especially for children and youth of this congregation. Because we understand that it is important for us to teach and be examples of all UU principles for our youth and children, we commit to promoting religious exploration during all stages of their development. This is one way we live our mission to be a welcoming community for spiritual growth, moral reflection, social action, and religious education. We work to welcome and honor the inherent worth and dignity of all in our diverse community.
Good morning. I'm Maria Madar, and my pronouns are she, her, and I'm honored to serve our congregation today as worship associate. A lit chalice is the symbol of our tradition, serving as a beacon of hope. As we light our chalice in the sanctuary, I invite those on Zoom to light a chalice or a candle and to type your location in the chat. Our chalice lighting and opening words today are adapted from Libby Stoddard. We have come into this room of hope where our hearts and minds are opened to the future. We have come into this room of justice where we set aside our fear to name freely every oppression. We have come into this room of love where we know that no lives are insignificant. We have come into this room of song where we unite our voices in the lively and beautiful melodies of life. Come, let us worship together.
Good morning. In honor of springing forward this morning, we wanted to make sure that everyone was extra awake, so we chose a very complicated first hymn to sing. So just to make sure we're all on the same page, I'm going to walk us through it. So if you'd please open up to 1074 in your teal hymnal. This first page, we're going to sing through together 3 times. The second page will just be sung once. The third page, this is where it gets tricky. All right, we're going to sing that first part on the first line through once together. Then we'll sing the second part through once together. And then the third time, we all will sing the first part, the easier one. And the choir is going to do the second part for us. Then we'll move on to the fourth page. And then we'll move on to the fifth page. And on the fifth page, about halfway down, we'll sing that through 3 times together. And then on the sixth page, that one's easy, we just sing it through twice. So please rise in body or in spirit as we join together in singing hymn number 1074, Turn the World Around. I practiced. We come from the fire, living in the fire. Go back to the fire, turn the world around. We come from the water, living in the water. We back to the water, turn the world around. We come from the mountain, living in the mountain. Go back to the mountain, turn the world around. Whoa!
Great job, everybody. Will you please now join me in saying our covenant, which is on the screen in a moment and also printed in your bulletin. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. This is our covenant. And now let us say our covenant in Spanish. El amor es el espíritu de esta iglesia y el servicio es su ley. Vivir juntos en paz, buscar la verdad en el amor y ayudarnos unos a otros. Este es nuestro pacto. Please be seated. Our congregation is a very lively community with many opportunities to participate. I've got a few announcements for you today, but please be sure to check the bulletin that you were given on your way in. First of all, congratulations for making it to church on Spring Ahead Sunday. I wonder who's still in bed now. And let's give a big UUI welcome to Nick Jerkowitz, our new AV coordinator, currently training on the sound booth at the back of the sanctuary. Welcome, Nick. Woo. And you've noticed, I'm sure by now, the lovely art on our walls. This Sunday is all by the children and youth of UUI. Please take time to enjoy it up close after the service. Next week, there will be signage to actually recognize these creative young members of our UUI family. It's just beautiful. And one final announcement, if you are between the age of 18 and 30 and might be interested in a young adult group, please contact Reverend Don.
I love the liveliness in our community this morning. It is so full of enthusiasm, even on daylight savings time. I think the sun and the spring and the warmth is perhaps getting to us. And it is so joyful to be able to be in community together, to share our energy and our enthusiasm and our worries and our concerns. And so let us take time to share the joys and sorrows that we hold with one another. As the music plays, I invite people here in the sanctuary to come up and drop a stone into the bowl right here in the front. If something is on your heart today, you can use both sides of the table. And if you've written your joy or sorrow on a card, please leave it in the basket at the table and I will read it out loud. Please note that the cards are by the entrance to the sanctuary for easy pickup when you come in. And for those of you who are on Zoom, we invite you to use the chat feature. Please put in all caps either joy or sorrow, plus your name and pronouns at the beginning of what you are sharing if you would like me to read it out loud in the sanctuary. You can also symbolically drop a stone into the bowl by typing drops stone or just DS into the chat. Let us share the joys and sorrows of our lives with one another. We are a community with many, 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 many joys and sorrows today. Again, what a joy it is to have a place that we can bring these things and share them with each other. Jean shares the joy of attending the Hogeye Navy folk music concert at UUI last night. She said it was uplifting to hear live folk music in the house, in a full house. Jen shares sorrows. They realized this week that they've been severely depressed for quite a while, and March 11th would be their girl cat Nora's 20th birthday if Jen still had her. Nora crossed the Rainbow Bridge on February 25th, 2023, and Jen misses her so much. Jack shares the sorrow that he is deeply concerned that state SB 518 may pass the House and take away crucial resources from our public schools, causing many to close. Alice shares the joy, and Ruben and Alice share the joy that Alice completed a 5K yesterday and outran Ruben. Congratulations, Alice. Sarah shares the joy that it's delightful to see the youth art on the walls, her child's included. She's so inspired. Catherine shares the joy that she loves turtles. I do too. William shares the joy that he went to his grandma and grandpa's house and got to stay over and had fun, and he loves them very much. Finn shares the joy that he started Act 3 in Dragon Quest that he's doing with his dad. Jim Killen shares the sorrow that his friend Salvador continues to live in fear as he tries to support his family of 10. If you need a handyman or carpentry work done, please speak with Jim. Sandra shares the joy that she had a great time last weekend at the Drum Facilitator Conference in Myrtle Beach with friends that she met in person and some on Zoom. And the joy that her California friend Susan is back at home after a week in the hospital, and she is relieved. And I think many of us share the sorrow to hear the news about Ed Archer, and honored to have known him as a dear friend. Crystal shares the sorrow that her cousin Denise passed away yesterday after a cardiac surgery on Tuesday. She will be missed. Was that Janice? Janice, thank you. I'm sorry. Felicia shares the joy that her name change paperwork is filed with gratitude to Breyer, and she got an A in pre-calculus, and she was accepted to Ohio State University. Congratulations, Felicia. Shelby shares the joy that over 1,500 friends and allies marched for International Women's Day at the State House yesterday. And Kathy and Don are joyful to have joined the people at the State House yesterday, honoring women and fighting oppression. And Amy and Austin and August are happy to share that they will be welcoming Augie's little brother into the world due September 4th. Congratulations! Let us pause for a moment and just breathe together 3 times as we hold all this joy and these sorrows, and understand that this is what it means to be in community with one another, sharing our lives with one another. Blessed be, and amen.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
This morning, we are going to see a story on the screen. So if you are somebody who would like to be closer to the screen to see the action, I invite you to come on forward. And this story that we're going to hear is about giving. And it's about how even small acts of generosity can ripple outward to create something much bigger than we imagined. Because right now, do you know, we have 2 seasons of giving that are going on. One is our annual pledge drive that starts today, where we come together to invest in this beloved community. And the other is Ramadan, which is a sacred time for our Muslim neighbors that includes fasting and reflection, and just like us, giving. Giving is powerful because it doesn't stop with just one person. It actually spreads. And so that means it's called a force multiplier. Doesn't that sound like Star Wars? I think that sounds like Star Wars, a force multiplier. So you get to use the force whenever you give, which is pretty awesome. So with that in mind, let's watch a story together that reminds us that even the smallest gifts can bring about great change.
Today's story is The Blessed Pomegranates, written by A. Hawa, illustrated by Dusril Iqbal Al-Faruqi. A Ramadan story about giving. Adam and Alia were lying under a magnificent pomegranate tree. Its branches reached high above, its green leaves dancing like butterfly wings under the Ramadan sun. Salam, it seemed to whisper. It is the holy time of giving. Grandma Essie smiled.
My grandchildren, who will climb this beautiful tree and pick some fruit for me?
Me, said Alia.
Me too,
Said Adam. They climbed up the branches, find the pomegranates twinkling like sun-kissed rubies. Some were crimson red, others purple like the sky after iftar, and some were as big as melons. All of them went plunk and plop into Grandma Essie's basket.
Subhanallah, how wonderful,
Said Grandma Essie.
but we have far more pomegranates than we can eat. What should we do with all of these fruits?
Miriam loves pomegranates, said Alia. I can give her some,
So does Uncle Shakir and Mrs. Jones and Musa and Zuzu.
said Adam. Grandma Essie smiled again.
Ramadan is a holy time for giving. It's also when Allah revealed the verses of the Quran to the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. The Quran is filled with Allah's guidance, love, and kindness. Because He shared with us, we too can share with all our neighbors, family, and friends.
Grandma Essie and Adam put the heavy basket of pomegranates on Alia's cart, and together they walked down the road. The Ramadan sun rose high in the sky, and the wagon's wheels squeaked cheerfully as they went. Salam, they seemed to say, it is the holy time of giving. The first house was Miriam's. Pomegranates, said Alia.
Delicious.
Said Miriam.
I know just the thing to do with these.
She dropped some pomegranates into a bucket. Plunk, plunk, plop,
Ramadan Kareem.
said Grandma Essie. Next was Uncle Shocker,
Assalamu alaikum, Uncle Shakir.
said Adam.
We brought you some pomegranates we picked from Grandma Essie's big tree.
Wa alaikum assalam, Adam.
Said Uncle Shocker.
I know just the thing to do with these.
He dropped some pomegranates in a pail. Plunk, plunk, plop,
Ramadan Kareem.
said Grandma Essie. Next came Mrs. Jones. Hello, Mrs. Jones, said Alia. It's the month of Ramadan for Muslims. We celebrate by sharing our blessings. Here are some pomegranates for you,
How wonderful.
said Mrs. Jones.
I know just the thing to do with these.
Alia dropped some pomegranates into Mrs. Jones' special shopping bag. Plunk, plunk, plop,
Ramadan Kareem.
said Grandma Essie. Last was Musa and Zuzu,
Assalamu alaikum and Ramadan Mubarak, Musa and Zuzu.
said Adam.
We brought you pomegranates from our grandma's tree.
Wa alaikum assalam, said Musa. They're so big, said Zuzu. Mom will know what just the thing to do with these. They dropped some pomegranates in a large pan. Plunk, plunk, plop,
Ramadan Kareem.
said Grandma Essie. They walked back to Grandma Essie's house. The Ramadan sun sank low in the sky, painting Grandma's tree red and orange like a giant pomegranate itself. Birds rested in its swaying branches. Salam, they seemed to sing. It's the holy time of giving. Oh, our pomegranate gone, sighed Alia,
I wish we saved one for ourselves.
said Adam,
My grandchildren.
said Grandma Essie.
In the spirit of Ramadan, we shared our gifts with others. Allah always rewards kindness with more abundance. Allahu Akbar. You'll see, inshallah.
They reached Grandma Essie's door as the Ramadan sun set behind the mountains. The moon rose and the azan called all to prayer, and everyone sat down to have iftar on this special night. Adam and Alia looked at the table and gasped. There were dates and walnuts, olive bread and halim, samosas and chicken soup. And best of all, there were pomegranates everywhere. Some pomegranates were ripe and ready to eat, just like Maryam liked them. Some were made into pomegranate syrup, Uncle Shocker's specialty. There was pomegranate stew from Mrs. Jones, and iced sweet pomegranate juice from Musa and Zuzu. Subhanallah, Adam and Alia exclaimed. You did know what to do with our gift. Grandma Essie wrapped her arms around her grandchildren.
Alhamdulillah.
She said,
Allah's love and mercy embraces everything He's created, including you. When you share your kindness with others, you show Allah you are thankful for all that He has given you. It is your kind hearts that have filled our table.
The Ramadan moon rose in the sky. Outside, the pomegranate tree glimmered under the stars. Salam, it seemed to say, it's the holy time of giving. And it was. The end.
That's a pretty good story, isn't it? Do you all like pomegranates? Who here likes pomegranates? Raise your hand if you like pomegranates. Yeah? Pomegranates are so cool. They're like, I'll have to show you sometime. We should have pomegranates here sometime to show because they're really special. They're very unique fruits. All right. Well, so did that story remind you of any other story? No? The giving tree? Maybe? It reminded me of the story of stone soup. Who here remembers the story of stone soup? Right? And in that story, a traveler arrives in a village where everyone is keeping to themselves and afraid they don't have enough to share. But then the traveler starts just a simple pot of water boiling with a stone inside of it. And people begin adding what they have, some carrots and some potato, until they have a big feast, enough for everyone. That's kind of like what happened here, right? So giving is a force multiplier. Pretty neat. All right. Well, don't think that pledging, what we're going to be talking about later today, is just for grown-ups, because in your mailboxes, You today will have something that asks you to think about how you would like this church to be in the future. How do you want UUI to be in the future? And think of ways that you can add your own gifts to the pot. And with that, I invite our children to go to their religious education classrooms as we sing. And as always, if children prefer to stay with their grown-ups, you are welcome to do that too.
May your mind be open to new learning. May your lips bring truth into the world. May your heart know love and your hands do the work of justice as you go your way in peace. As you go your way in peace. May your mind be open to new learning. May your lips bring truth into the world. May your heart know love and your hands do the work of justice as you go your way in peace. As you go your way in peace.
I love the story for all ages, in part because all of their friends and family came to create it together and created a community in which their generosity was multiplied. And we've spent a lot of time together talking about what makes a community strong and healthy, about covenant, about setting healthy boundaries, about the difference between being kind and being nice, and even about how when conflict is handled well, it can be transformative. But here's the thing, community isn't something that we just talk about. It's something that we build over and over again with intention. A community in some ways is like a home or a house. It needs a clear vision, a strong foundation, and the ability to adapt. And right now, UUI is at a moment of expansion, not with bricks and mortar, but with renewed vision and deeper commitment. It's like adding an addition onto a house. First, we need a blueprint, a shared understanding of who we are and what we want to build together. That's where our visioning process comes in. And then we need the resources to bring that vision to life, the financial foundation that makes it possible. And that's where pledging and the budget come in. Today, we are laying the groundwork for UUI's next chapter. And to start, I'm going to invite Mariah to come share more about the visioning process that the transition team will be leading and how you can be a part of shaping what comes next.
Good morning. My name is Mariah, and my pronouns are she and they, and this is Zoe. I'm here on behalf of the transition team to invite you into an important conversation about UUI's future. As we continue through this time of ministerial transition, we have an opportunity to reflect on who we are, what we value, and where we are headed as a community. Our current mission and vision statement, Constancy of Purpose, was created in 2013 in the wake of significant changes in our congregation. In the decades since, UUI has continued to evolve through leadership changes, cultural changes, and the challenges and opportunities of a changing world. Now, as we begin the process of searching for our next minister, it's time to ask, who are we today? What is our purpose now? A clear, shared vision will not only guide our congregation's future, but will also help potential ministers understand who we are and where we want to go. That's why we're inviting all of you to join us for Visioning with Love, Shaping Our Future, a series of small group conversations where we'll explore these big questions together. Between March 16th and March 30th, we're offering 5 opportunities to participate, 3 in-person sessions after Sunday services, and 2 evening Zoom sessions. During these sessions, we'll discuss examples of mission and vision statements rooted in UU and UUI values. We want to hear from you. Do these statements reflect the UUI you know and love? Do they speak to the future we want to create together and what's missing? Your insights will help shape our next steps. Though it's not required, we encourage you to sign up so that we can plan accordingly. You can do so in the social hall after service or through our weekly e-blast and Slack. This is a pivotal time for UUI. With the world around us in flux and our congregation at a turning point, this is our chance to lead with love towards a future we envision together. We hope you'll be part of this conversation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mariah and Zoe. Visioning is about dreaming together, about asking big questions and shaping a future that reflects our values. But vision alone is not enough. A vision without commitment is just a wish. If we want to build the future we imagine, we have to invest in it. And that's where our annual pledge drive comes in, where we as a community step forward and say, yes, this matters. I want to help build it. And so now let's hear from Stacy about how we can put our love into action through this year's pledge drive.
Hey, good morning, everybody. My name is Stacy Robinson. My pronouns are she, her, and I wish I had a Zoe on my hip to bring with me. I feel like that would make everything that I could say much better. But unfortunately, my little kiddo is not so little anymore. They're 26, and while they grew up in this church, I don't think that they would be too keen on being on my hip this morning, or I don't know if they'd fit. But anyway. So I'm really excited to announce the launch of our 25 to 26 pledge drive, which begins today and ends on April 13th. This year's theme, if you might not have figured it out already, is Our Time to Lead, Our Time to Love. The theme perfectly captures who we are as a community. In fact, while searching for UUI photos online, I came across a Facebook post from one of our newer members. And with his permission, he said I could share it with you. Dustin McCreary, thank you. It sums it up beautifully. He said, I've been finding a lot of meaning from participating at UUI. My favorite way to describe it is the way my daughter, 6 years old, does. She says, it's a love church. Yeah, I don't know about you, but I feel that too. I need as much love as possible in my life right now. For those of you who don't know, I work in global health with PEPFAR USAID funded programs, at least for now, right? At a public university in Indiana. To say the year hasn't been off to a good start is an understatement. There have been a lot of tears, can't even start on that, and sleepless nights. So having a place like UUI, a place where compassionate people who make mistakes, but try to lead the way in justice, equity, and inclusion feels more important than ever. I consider these the core components of love: justice, equity, inclusion. Our pledge goal this year is $425,000. It's an ambitious but totally achievable target if we all join in. The future will support our dedicated staff, our growing religious education or exploration program, our social justice work, and most importantly, I think, our search for the next minister. There is so much to celebrate. Our community is stronger than ever. We've welcomed 30 new members this past year, bringing our total, it's incredible. Bringing our total to 230. That's a 13% increase at a time when many congregations are shrinking. This is an aside. My dad goes to United Methodist Church in a small town in Indiana, and his congregation is plummeting. They continue to lose members, and he's always talking to me like, what are you guys doing differently? How are you guys keeping people coming in? But I think that this growth reflects the deep need for places like UUI, where people find a home for their spirits and a call for a more just world. We're doing it right, and we're getting more people to come join us. So this year, we're inviting you to become a leader in love by pledging early. We would love for you to pledge early so we don't have to bother everybody. And if you submit your pledge form by March 23rd, 2025, you'll be recognized as a leader in love and receive some fun name tag bling, a way to showcase your early leadership and inspire others. Plus, you'll get my undying gratitude for pledging early. Please pledge early. And I didn't put this in my script, but I'm just going to mention it because I realized I forgot to, that one of the important things about pledging that's different than just like putting your money in the offering plate every Sunday, which is great too, and we certainly welcome that, is that by doing that, you ensure that we actually know how much money that we might have coming in, and it helps us plan ahead and be able to like give people raises, which is pretty darn important, and like ensure that we can offer programming and things like that, pay our bills. So it just gives us a consistent understanding of what to expect. Whereas when you put money in the offering, again, very much appreciated, we just don't know what to expect from week to week. So that's why we need people to write down how much you're willing to pledge. It can always change. Like if something comes up in your life, you know, I know there's a lot of changes happening in the world, you can change it, but just giving us a basic understanding of where you're at right now would help us so much. So you're gonna find the pledge form in your inbox later this week. I think you might also find it by scanning the QR code on today's bulletin, but if not, we'll have it next week for you. And then also there's a heart-adorned pledge table in the social hall, and I have lots of things where you can scan it. And for people online, again, you can look in your email later this week. On the pledge form this year, we've also included a space for you to share your thoughts about UUI's future, which will be passed on to the transition team, handily, which I'm also on, for their mission and vision work. Pledging isn't just a financial commitment. It's an act of radical love. It's a way of saying, I believe in this community, I believe in our mission, and I believe that love is stronger than fear. So today we ask you to reflect on what UUI means to you and how you can help sustain this place where love, justice, and hope are made real every day. This is our time to lead. This is our time to love. Let's move forward together with courage and with commitment. Thank you.
Thank you, Stacy. All right, so we've got the vision, and we're going to be making the commitment. But now comes the part where we also sort of make it start happening. A pledge drive isn't just about raising money, it's also about resourcing our values. And that is where the budget comes in. If our vision is the blueprint, the design for the future that we want to build, and the budget is then the materials list and construction plan, it ensures that we have what we need to actually bring that vision to life. Walls, a roof, electricity, running water, you know, the things that make a house livable. So what does it take to build a UUI that is strong and sustainable and ready for the future? Let's hear from Alex, who's going to walk us through how our budget reflects who we are and what we stand for.
Hello again. So a budget is a numerical reflection of our values. And for the 2025-2026 fiscal year, we are building on the progress we've made to ensure our spending aligns with these values. This budget ensures that because we value economic justice, for the first time, all staff will receive fair wages per UUA guidelines. That is important. It fully funds lay-led programs because we value your work, invests in a growing RE program because we value our kids. Yes. And, as Stacy mentioned, supports the search for our next minister because we value our spiritual growth. And to show that we value our campus, I will be proposing that we use part of our endowment to seed a capital reserve fund, creating a dedicated capital budget for safety, accessibility, and sustainability improvements for our buildings and our grounds. I will be sharing the budget drafts via email and Slack soon. And just like last year, we'll hold listening sessions for your feedback before the final adoption. Now, let's talk about the bigger picture. We are all too aware that our UU values in this budget, truth, love, equality, respect, justice, values that should not be controversial, are under attack in a way we haven't seen for generations. And it's scary. It is. We should say it is. And let's be clear, those in Washington and in our state house would love nothing more for the progressive faith communities like ours around the country to hollow out and collapse and just give up. If the voices of resistance fade, their march towards a theocratic fascist state becomes easier. And that's not paranoia, that is reality. And we don't know what's coming next or how much worse things might get. It's been a rough couple months already. But here's what we do know. Being part of a UU church right now is a counterculture activity, and we are no strangers to the counterculture. In a world where money holds more power than ever, choosing to invest your dollars here in a UU church, in a place that stands for love and for reason and for human dignity, is an overt act of resistance. But resistance isn't easy, and we're already seeing signs of fear taking hold in progressive congregations around the country. Worries about the economy, about job security, about your safety as an other under this new regime are leading people to cut back, including on their church pledges. People are losing hope and people are giving up. And so I ask you, are we willing to let that happen here at UUI? Will we preemptively sit down and shut up when we should be standing tall and speaking out? I have no intention of giving up the ship, but keeping this church open as a sanctuary for those who need it requires your pledge dollars. I wish it didn't cost money to have a safe space for trans people because they were safe everywhere. And I wish we didn't have to fund a special religious education program so that our kids, my kid, knew that they were loved unconditionally no matter what. But we do, because we're not there yet. And that's why UUI matters now more than ever. And I know there's a lot going on right now, but we also know what's at stake. We're seeing it every day. And so I'm asking you as your treasurer to increase your pledge for this fiscal year by as much as you can, even if it's just a little bit more, because a small increase for each of us will ensure UUI remains a force for good when our community and our country need it most. And I also understand financial situations vary. No one should be choosing between rent and a pledge. But if everyone who gave last year pledged just a little more, or those who have not pledged before could start this year, we could keep growing and loving and resisting, because now is the time to dig in, to invest in our values and our church and this budget. Because if not now, with all of this going on, when? Really? We can and we must keep UUI strong. May it be so. May we make it so with our pledge dollars. Thank you.
He just needs to pound the pulpit a few times, and then you've got it, Alex. All right, so today we've reflected on how individual acts of generosity can ripple outward, creating a community where giving multiplies, a place where no one is left to face life alone. As we envision the future of UUI, each of us has the opportunity to contribute to this shared journey. By participating in our visioning sessions and offering your generous pledges, you're helping to build something so much more than just a congregation. You're helping to create a refuge, a sanctuary, a place of love and safety and belonging, a place that in times of uncertainty reminds us that when the shadows fall, you do not face them alone. This is what it means to step forward in faith, to multiply generosity, to make sure that this home, this sanctuary is here for everyone who needs it. This is what it means to lead with love. So let us build this future together. May it be so. May we make it so together.
Every month, UUI gives half of the Sunday collection to a cause chosen by our Social Justice Committee. This March, the Share the Plate offering will go to Exodus Refugee Immigration. Founded in 1981, Exodus has a long history of welcoming refugees and asylees from many countries, cultures, languages, faiths, and political opinions. Since they were founded, Exodus has helped thousands of refugees establish their lives in Indiana. In 2024, they welcomed 884 new refugees representing 18 different countries while providing ongoing services to refugees who already called Indiana home. You can give on your smartphone by texting the dollar amount you want to give and the word share to the phone number which is in the chat and in your bulletin. You can also give on our website at uui.org. Here in the sanctuary, ushers will come around to collect donations, and the offering will now be gratefully received. May it be joyfully given. Thank you for your generosity. As today's service comes to a close, let us remember this is our time to lead and our time to love. UUI is, as one of our youngest members so beautifully put it, a love church, a place where care, compassion, hope, justice, and yes, love persevere and propel us forward. This is a pivotal time for UUI. This is our chance to shape the future that we envision together. We need all of you to be a part of this journey, to lend your voice, your heart, and your commitment to building a community that stands strong in the face of uncertainty. Go forward with courage, with love, and with the knowledge that your contribution matters.
Please rise in body or in spirit as we join together in singing hymn number 131, Love Will Guide Us.
Please join me in our chalice extinguishing words on the screen and printed in your order of service. Now we extinguish the flame of our chalice, but not the light of understanding, the warmth of compassion, or the fire of commitment. Let us keep those with us until we meet again. Go in peace.